Shobha number 1, denying the wisdom in God's use of examples with small creatures like mosquitoes and flies. The allegation is that some critics claim that the mention of small or insignificant creatures such as mosquitoes and flies in the Quran, as in the verse, indeed Allah is not shy to present an example that of a mosquito or what is similar than it, indicates a lack of majesty and greatness of Allah. They argue that a deity who uses such creatures as examples cannot be considered great. Well, first, here are some passages from the Bible, and these can be considered as some sort of obligations upon Christians. So how can these critics from Christians object when their own scriptures mentions flies, ants, and fleas? Obligations upon atheists. Now, we obligate atheists with the following points. If the universe, including small creatures, is part of the natural system studied by science, why is it mocked when mentioned or used as examples? Don't your sciences, such as biology, rely heavily on studying insects, bacteria, and viruses, which are even smaller than mosquitoes? Does this diminish the importance of these sciences or the value of researchers in the field? No creature is insignificant outside its context. This is the second point. A mosquito might be small to an ignorant atheist, but it is crucial in its ecological role and it is in its impact of life. Haven't small creatures been used to demonstrate the greatness and complexity of nature, such as bacteria being pivotal to human health? And third, for example, mosquitoes are a significant subject of study in biology due to their role in transmitting disease like malaria. Should we undermine the importance of these studies? 4. If you accept these creatures to understand the world, why reject their use to clarify the divine wisdom? And finally, does this mean that biology should be mocked for studying insignificant insects and even smaller entities? Now we respond to the allegation, no, dear servant of Allah, that these critics also say, how can a great God care about the details of the DNA, i.e. the order of its sequences, nucleotide bases, without which, by the way, it wouldn't function as intended? They also argue, how can a creator care about the minor details of this universe? And at the same time, if one of them were to see a painting or a building and observes the magnificent details, they will say that the artist or the architect is great because they cared about the details. This is the double standard. Ultimately, first, note that Allah is the creator of all things. He owns everything and He has the right to give examples using whatever He wills. Also, Allah says, as for those who believe, they know it is the truth from their Lord. But as for those who disbelieve, they say, what does Allah mean by this example? This verse indicates that using small creatures as examples is a test of faith in the intellect to distinguish between those who reflect and those who reject without knowledge.